Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're standing in front of my 2016 Subaru WRX and we're doing a modification that you guys have asked me to do for a long time. So we're gonna do an install. Wait, I should tell you what we're doing. We're actually gonna be doing something that we've needed on this car literally forever. I'm super excited that I finally got it done. It's actually already on the car, so I don't wanna show you yet because there is gonna be B-roll footage. But on the rear of the car, we're gonna be installing gloss black Subaru WRX and the Subaru symmetrical emblems for the rear of my trunk. My goal is to really clean up the back of the trunk, go with the theme of kind of gloss black and white. So this is a super exciting mod. We're gonna get straight into the install. I'm gonna show you guys how to take off the stock ones, how to install the new ones, where to buy them, and then I'm gonna roll some beauty shots and talk about the mod after the fact. So before we get into the video, guys, if you wanna see more WRX content about my Subaru WRX, more automotive content, or kind of anything between, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks, guys. And we're gonna get right into the install. So I'm putting some tape around the WRX so I can have some reference points for when I'm installing the new WRX emblem. I'm just gonna tape that off with some painter's tape. And then I'm gonna heat it with the heat gun to warm up the adhesive behind it. And then I'm just gonna use some dental floss to thread behind the lettering and slowly work my way through the adhesive to break the bond and be able to remove the WRX. The key here is not to pull up the lettering until you've made the floss go completely behind it and break that bond. If you pull it up too soon, you might gouge the paint. I'm using a screwdriver, a flathead with some painter's tape over the tip so I don't damage the paint. There's actually a lot there and you can see the adhesive. I'm using the flathead with the tape on the end of it to just pry a little bit of that adhesive off where there's big chunks. I'm making sure not to damage the paint. And then I'm gonna put some polish scratch and swirl remover and I'm gonna use a polisher to get it off there. I'm gonna wipe off the polish after I've done it because we don't want that on there. I'm using a little clay bar here now. I like the chemical guys set up. I'm just gonna clay bar it to get it clean here. And then I'm gonna test fit before I remove the adhesive backing. One way to do this is to use reference lines on your tape. I felt pretty comfortable. I've removed the adhesive and I'm sticking it on. You wanna apply a good amount of pressure here, at least for 10 seconds. Get cracking on the other side. I've already taped off the other side. I didn't want to bore you guys. I'm gonna heat up the lettering. This time I've realized that I need to put reference lines, so I'm putting a line at the middle of every letter so I can have a reference point for when I'm inserting the new letters, because this isn't one piece. I'm just doing the same with the bottom part, the all-wheel drive. There is a template on the lettering that I received, but I didn't trust it, so I'm gonna heat this up again, and then I'm gonna use the floss to pass through completely underneath and remove each letter. You're gonna have to go through the process of heating and removing a couple times. You don't want to overheat too hot, makes the adhesive very, very sticky, and you'll end up breaking your floss like I have a couple times here. Again, it's key that you use the floss to get all the way past the letter before you try to remove the letter, or you will gouge the paint. You can see that there is a lot of adhesive. It is going to take some time to get this off. I did speed up the process, but I used my fingers, I used the polisher, and I used a screwdriver, and this was probably the longest part of this whole entire process. I'm just scraping with my nail a little bit, paying attention not to damage any of the paint or anything behind it, just getting the globs off, using the polisher, and repeating that process. The polisher will make it into big bunches of adhesive that you can then pick off. permanent marker, so when you're polishing, you don't remove your marks. And then I'm just using my reference lines and my tight paint stencils to lay the lettering, because the bottom of the template, like the insert template you can see on the trunk, was a little bit damaged in shipping when I got it. Using the template to mount the Subaru lettering. I didn't love it. I tried it again. I didn't love it. I tried it again. I finally ended up using it just because the reference lines were still pretty difficult to put in. At this point, it was getting late, so I do recommend using them if they're not damaged when you order them and it comes with something like this. And again, guys, you want to just put a lot of pressure in that trunk. You want to almost like move the car with the amount of pressure you're putting on, just to make sure you have a good bond with that 3M tape or 3M adhesive. And I'm just triple checking, but at this point they're adhered on there. There's nothing I can do, so they do look good. You'll see. Let's roll some B-rolls. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know that this is a small modification that you can do to your car, but in my opinion, it really changes the rear of the car. I actually had a lot of fun doing it. Doing these kinds of modifications are a lot of fun because it's a quick kind of reward for your actions and a reward for your work. You know, it's a relatively quick modification. I'd say it took about an hour, including the filming, so I bet you guys can comfortably do this in under an hour. Even if you're on a WRX where you've probably got more badging and more emblems than other cars. I think the WRX is pretty heavy and there's a lot of adhesive to remove. Specifically in the WRX, I've debadged other cars and they've been a lot easier actually. Just make sure you're careful, because I know a lot of you guys don't necessarily have the WRX, and I want you to make sure you don't, damage your car. That being said, I think this is such a powerful modification. I know my car's a little dirty here. This is such a powerful modification. I spent very little money buying these. I'm actually going to be importing some myself, having them made, because I spent way too much money on these things because I bought them from a US-based company and they upcharged me a ton of money. So I'm going to import some, or I'm going to make some. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do because I got to find someone that actually will make them for me, but then I'll find some way of listing them or something so that you guys can get a cheap deal on them. I don't want to link anything in the description below. Go out and find them yourself. They're pretty expensive, to be honest. So be diligent about what you're doing and make sure they're a good set. I highly recommend the gloss versus the matte. I really do think that the gloss makes a big difference. And my car is a white car. I don't actually love the color of my car. I do love the combination between white and black, and I really think this ties it together. I've got to say, again, my car is pretty dirty. It desperately needs to be clay barred, washed that way. But it wasn't hard to do this, and I keep saying that. I know I'm probably repeating myself, but it's changed the car subtly so much. It's funny how such a small modification, an hour of your time can really make a difference on your car. And like, I'm even having a hard time looking at the camera because I still surprise myself every time I come back here, where I'm like, wow, this little bit of change made such a difference on my car. And I hope you guys can see that through my car and make decisions based off your car. I know that I talked about doing this on some of my modification videos, top modifications under $100, that kind of thing. I can't suggest enough doing this, trying this out. Even if you just want to test it, it's easy to get new adhesive and put your old badges back on. Trying this out for like 15, 20 bucks is not a bad deal. And again, it's really changed my car in my opinion, and it's leading me towards really doing things. I think that in the future, I actually just got some vinyl wrap. I think I'm gonna vinyl wrap this trunk trim. I might actually go with a black. I might either vinyl wrap this or go with a black spoiler. I'm not really sure. I've got to start with the trunk trim and take some steps towards there. Tomorrow we're going to be installing the F1 rear brake light, so I'm very excited to start filming that and get that video out there because I know a lot of you guys have been asking about that. So that should be fun. I went with the GCS because it is the cheapest option, and I know you guys are all about budget modifications for your Subaru WRX. This channel is all about bringing you that balance where you can kind of go as budget as possible without sacrificing anything, and I've definitely tried and tested different things, and some things haven't worked, and I've told you guys about that. So if you're interested in those kinds of reviews and installations, and you want to follow a car that's going to not break your bank, but it's going to do awesome things, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Look at some of my past videos. I'm just glad you guys are here. If you've stuck this far through, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Let me know in the comment section below that you've been here for this long. You guys are the real MVPs that make this channel move, so I really do appreciate it. I know that our videos haven't been getting too many views recently, and I know that I've been doing more specific content about my WRX and not general news content and things that are general about WRXs. So I'm hoping to bring some of that back so that we can expose ourselves to a new audience, bring some different things to the channel. Let me know if you guys want to see me do more things to my WRX or produce more content just about Subaru WRXs and the Subaru platform and other people's cars and news. I'm interested to see what you guys think I should do, and which, whether you want to see a balance, whether you want to see just 100% more of my car, 100% less of my car, and more about just Subarus in general. Let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it.